a word that you mentioned, or a phrase, or maybe rather, is skill paths as a way to potentially reframe how career development happens for deskless employees. Because, the path from dishwasher to prep cook to all of a sudden you're on pastry now is kind of like you're stacking these skills to progress through your career versus, something that another industry might not potentially look at as going from finance to all of a sudden media production or something like that in the company. So can you share a little bit about how you've seen that and how people can potentially think about stacking skills and skill paths as a progression track?
Yeah, I think just like micro training, I think upskilling and skill path is a term that often gets used kind of pretty loosely and almost to a dangerous extent sometimes, right? I'm going to share a little anecdote and then I'll answer your question. So, when I first was starting the company years ago, mind you, I'd already worked in restaurants for 13 years, but I was looking at it through a new lens, which was, okay, how can we actually create meaningful experiences for operators so that they could scale effectively and keep their people. So I went into a multi-unit restaurant group, some folks that I knew, and I asked all the GMs to sit down around a table, and on a post-it, they had to write one job. So each post-it represented one job in that company, and they took a minute and they had to write down every job in the company. And I said, okay, now take those post-its and arrange them in the order of how people report to each other in the company. Pretty easy, right? So you have like executive chef on top and, COO, XYZ, all the way down to like bussers and dishwashers. And then I said, okay, nice work. Now rearrange it or keep it the same depending on how people, and show me how people grow in your company.
Mm.
Well, map changed. And it's such an important story to tell. And I tell it all the time because a lot of us forget that the way that the reporting structure does not equal the way people grow. What I learned that day, of course, was in that particular company, the pathway to AGM, to assistant general manager, was host. It wasn't
Hmm.
dining room manager. They often found that that was the fastest way. So a skill path reflects the reality of how people grow at a job. And so the way we like to think about it, it's the way that you build work value in order to achieve whatever economic outcome you're looking for. And it matters because knowing where we are and where we can go is critical to the future of work. And so it's important to make sure that the skill path is attached to an end value that is important for the individual as well as the company.